You know, Velsicol, they were good for the employment, bad for the environment, just terrible. I mean, they would dump things in the river on short notice. They just dump it in there. They discharge stuff into the air.
Yeah, you saw them when they were.
They would discharge stuff. It was so bad and so thick that as a youngster riding a bike, I rode my bike right into the side of a car. I couldn't see it. It was parked on the side of the road. It's just like a real heavy fog. This stuff. These gardens would die. Aluminum screens, you could just brush them, and they're oxidized. In the early 70s, they came to town, and DNR at that time took cage fish studies, and the cages were actually dissolved in caustic.
And that was solid metal?
Yeah. I imagine it's galvanized, so galvanized reacted a little bit more. The geese are probably taken over in the background. We get hundreds of those in here at this time of year. They migrate into here. And one of my concerns is I've asked EPA and I've asked DEQ, have you tested any waterfowl? No, we haven't. They just stopped here. Well, you know, fish just swim here too.
Yeah. Oh, so let's see. There was some dredging done by the EPA on like the bottom and stuff.
Right. In the background, you can see the steel pilings they put in when they sectioned it off and excavated it. It averages 25 to 30 feet deep. Where they cleaned up the river, where it was only a couple feet deep, they took out that much sediment. And, you know, that's a lot of water in here.
But it's gotten cleared up. You noticed
it's cleared up. I've been out there several times in a boat, and if you didn't know you were in a polluted river, you'd never realize it because it's clean down there.
You want to talk a little bit about the publicity and the media that's been through here and what that's done for the town?
You know, we've had some real raw deals with the media. You know, they don't report all the facts, and for a long time it was convince the city that the bad's got to come out before the good's happening, and the truth is coming out, and we're seeing action from the bad coming out. You know, there's been several different articles.
How has it been, you know, trying to, live in a town that, you know, it's clearly not your fault, but you know, it must be hard to.
Well, in the 70s when they did this the first time, we were alienated. Nobody talked to us, and I guess we've got street smart. You know, if I have to go over there and handcuff myself to that fence, I'll do it because they're not getting out of town without cleaning this thing up right this time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna. They're not gonna leave town. I'm not gonna let them. Well, you know, when EPA came to town and said they were gonna do this cleanup 10 years ago. They joked about it and said, in 5 years, we'll be having a fish fry at Penny Park. Well, we're 10 years, and we haven't had a fish fry with fish out of the Pine River. Yeah. We may be 20 years before we have a fish fry out of the Pine River, but, you know, I learned some good words from a friend of mine that I did a lot of fishing with. And Kyle's words are, every generation has responsibility to the next, and it's our turn to make sure that next generation gets a turn. And even my grandkids, they're involved in the fish derby. They're having a fit because the river's not clean.
Yeah, because I mean, they've got an inheritance.
They have an interest in this thing.